always do, suspend our mind a little bit. And then with that little bit of suspension is some freedom, awareness to sit back in her own seat. Her own seat. And we extend through our body. That extension, we're doing it so long, you can feel the columns starting to form now, right? Into the earth, into the head, and then we extend to each other. Immediate stress situation, and then do our kind of self-arising presence. Having established ourselves in our own and the immediacy of our situation, we're going to extend to the generations, mothers and fathers. We can also extend to all the people in that life, karmic companions, and also the people who mentored us, which is really such a great function. We feel them, we extend to them in mutual support, and then we extend to those whom we met, all the various forms of that. That really is a transmission. We extend to the great yogis, the great gurus who met, those people who embody awareness so completely that it's transparent. That extension, feel that in us, extending it to them. Then we'll extend to traditions that we participate in, all these different articulations of people's experience of primordial awareness, languages, mix in our body, we become a universal person. And finally extend to that dimension that is very mysterious and wonderful, which is the Sambhogakaya, the deity, deities, the gods. And that dimension is our own awareness, rising intuition. And I was thinking away, so I will try and give you the copy of the secret realization of the Guru is our own regular. And those who write, we've been talking a lot about language, symbols, 4 levels of speech, and ultimately speech as light. There's 2 transmissions. There's the transmission beyond words and letters, and the transmission in words and letters. The conjoining of those 2. So you might want to go to the video streaming when we put that up, okay? And I think it's really very, very important topic, extremely useful topic, and that will bring you up to snuff. So hold We can start roaring the chant. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we'll stay focused in just for a little while. And so here we are again. We really have ended the year, so this is more to do with the endings. Having become aware of our own awareness, having become aware of your own awareness, and having learned to suspend your mind even just a little bit and enter the awareness field. Everybody can enter that field. Then having learned to integrate your mind and your body into this awareness state is really wonderful, huh? Because you're now living within the field and through the field. That's really something. Moreover, because of your cumulative practice, and there's nothing magical in this whatsoever, it's cumulative practice, so because of the practice and because of the givenness of primordial awareness, the grace of primordial awareness, right? So it's something we both do and something we're given, huh? You are experiencing, or you're beginning to experience the Vajravas body, or the body of light. Or to use another language, the Kundalini, the process of bodying the light, is unfolding and has unfolded, and sublimation is within you. And you've experienced the phases of the unfolding of the three basic elements. The light is in the Kundalini, and this is on a whole tape in September of last year. The whole month is on this. The three elements, the light and sexuality and object determination. Huh? So for many, sexuality is very determined function, huh? Also known as chemistry, up to a point. But it really is object and narcissistic components, okay? So you have, and beyond, so you've experienced that unfolding. You feel that coming through with some power initially. The light, sexuality, and intense object desire. It has to be that way. Then, beyond the doorway of the navel, once that doorway opens, and the light, once that doorway opens, there is sexuality without an object and the light. So you start to feel intense states of sexuality in the light, but there's no object. It is without desire. And for some people, that's the first time in their whole life they've felt it. Either it's always been a function of desire for someone or someone else's desire for us. But finally, sexuality feels this independent support, and it's luminous in the light. This is the unfolding of the Kundalini. Then it comes to this little doorway beneath the breast. Very important doorway. Very important. As that energy penetrates there, through just going both vertically and through resonance with other people. Okay? Then, at the doorway of the heart, luminosity of compassion. So truly then we're no longer finally going beyond empathy, and the great compassion begins to arise, it begins to open, and the light begins to manifest not only within you and within your body, but around you. You start really having a more luminous field, and you can really feel the light in your body. And also, since it's in you, it takes one to know one, you then start to feel and see the light in appearances, because the light now is going from the heart to the eyes to the Guthrie channels. We all should really know this and be experiencing this. So you start to experience it coming forth in reality, and the multidimensionality of reality too. So your eyes become a vehicle for penetrating into the light through phenomena, and also a transmission of light. The greatest transmission is through the eyes. We're all together, correct? Yes, we are. And as this takes place, you begin to experience the column of luminosity connecting both the earth, the heart, and the heavens. The earth, perineum, the lower sexual center in the earth energy, heart center, luminous, the heart, the hridaya opens in luminosity, and it also, you feel the connection to the heaven, up to the nada point, to that point, I forget what that's called, but it's where the Guru Loka's there, and also Kritika is also there, okay? Now, everybody's together with this? We're doing a review, okay? And also, you and I have learned the great skill of extension. The extension of your own awareness, not your mind. The extension of the light. The extension of your own rigpa. Your own awareness of awareness. You have learned to extend that. Hey, welcome, through your body and through situations and all those things we extend to. And in doing so, the inner yin meets the outer yin, and oneness is within your experience. Oneness can be within our experience at this level. And you and I have learned extension from the surface. So we've done this, we did this for a long time. Extension from the surface is like from this part out, we extend to each other. Then we went further to the middle, right? Then we started to extend from beyond the back. And as we started to do that, we could start doing pass-throughs. Correct? Yes. Okay? Our extension from the whole body. And you and I then have learned extension then from within the heart essence, where we can extend the heart essence, the liquid heart energy, and also the bodhicitta drop. Right? And you can experience the oneness within your body, within the immediacy of your situation, within the generational field, and within the realm of the teachers. By teachers, really, I mean the Namanikaya gurus, those beings that personify the light, embody it so completely that it's transparent. And within traditions, and within the Sambhoga archetypical realm of the field. So you can also experience the extension to the deities, right? We've been doing this for a long time now, right? And we have a lot of support, okay? Everybody following this review? Now, it's all a function of praxis. Now, the extension of your awareness both brings forth, you bring yourself forth that way, and it is also an expression of the body light. It's also expression of the body of light coming, and it also brings forth the body of light. In these traditions, method and results are the same. Luminous flesh. And the transmission of awareness and the mutual transmission of awareness between yourself and others, beyond words and letters, amplifies the light both in yourself and in your situations. We all know this. Also, we're beginning to learn the transmission that takes place through speech, the luminous energy of words and symbols, right? Now, as Dusha Rinpoche says, extension is the great secret, and as you know, extension also manifests, like its real flowering of it, its complete manifestation is through the pass-through. the body of light passing through the body of light. The pass-through. Now, my God, there must be a better word than pass-through, right? If anybody has any ideas, please. The pass-through brings forth, the wave, okay? It brings forth oneness of the light, and so first of all, it brings the oneness of the light and highly amplifies the mutual held columns of light. Because in the pass-through, the columns of light can do this. And then within that, there's a great deal of intensity. So the oneness of the light and the oneness of the inner column of light brings both stability and intensity to the mind-body continuum, right? The mind and body embodies luminosity. That's why this is an incarnational approach. Not unlike the Dzogchen and the early Gnostic Christians have a lot in common, as Herbert Gunther says. Everybody with me so far? This is our review, okay? The gift of passing through, and if you don't practice this, you're not using what you've got. You're not using what you're given. The gift of passing through is both method and result, both skillful means and gnosis. So when you have the capacity to pass through, it is skillful means and gnosis at the same time, the same moment, right? The great gift is especially useful and most wonderful when you, through the best of fortune, meet a person who completely embodies the light. When one meets such a person who definitively knows that their own Rigpa is the Guru, like that great text, their own Rigpa is the Guru, and their own Rigpa is the deity of illumination. They definitively know that. This definitive experience of the realization of the Guru as one's own awareness is the Guru function personified, a illuminative, radiant consciousness personified in humanness. And that really is the great masters, the great siddhas. And we've all been very fortunate to meet such great beings, human beings. Upon meeting such a person, you're not meeting a mere teacher. And really, you want to know the difference. You do not want to be lost in naivete or transference. Upon meeting such a person, you're not meeting a mere teacher, or better yet, a mere teacher, but a person who lives in the great perfection of the great perfection as the great perfection. In this awesome situation, your good karma is showing. In this awesome situation, your good karma is showing. It's showing up. And to meet such a person is a definitive moment for your own realization that your Rigpa is the Guru, primordial awareness itself. Your own Rigpa is the deity. Your own Rigpa is the Dakini. And the paradox is to the degree that that's somewhat apparent to you, you have inklings of it, to that degree you can see that in that master. Are you with me? So as Irv Posted told me many years ago, one of my first great Gestalt therapy teachers, it takes one to know one. So that's a little catch-22. That's why you have to unveil, get rid of the veils of naivete. This opening is especially wonderful if in these meetings, these encounters, you have remembrance to extend to this person and also through this person, to extend and actually pass through such a person who is without obscurations will foundationally reorganize your field. And through the gift of oneness within the Namanikaya, so this is a Namanikaya encounter, right? Then Sambhogakaya and Dharmakaya become completely close to your experience, completely close. You take a leap at that moment. This is the most wonderful of methods, this Guru Upaya. And truly this is the divine embrace. In the true sense, that is the divine embrace. The light embracing the light and being embraced by the light. And to the degree that you have some sense that your Rigpa is the Guru, then the inner Guru of your Rigpa meets the Guru as Rigpa. Awareness becomes awareness of the oneness of transmission, the oneness of passing through. Everybody following this topic, okay? So in meeting the Guru function within you, within your being is brought forth, and the secret realization of the Guru as your own Rigpa becomes more at hand. It is not the only method, though, okay? Everybody following this topic here? So passing through is both skillful means and gnosis, and can be easily cultivated. It's actually easily cultivated. It is the essence of both healing and true love, so we don't have to over-mythologize it. Passing through is the great compassion, as passing through brings forth healing and dissolves isolation of the self, the personal self, and the experience of primordial self. Passing through intensifies the light and allows our mind, and I really mean our mind, to open to the innate luminosity. So for many of us, the mind is closed to innate luminosity. That is the most basic foreclosure. That is the most basic dissociation that must be overcome by us. Passing through facilitates the moment of death. Passing through facilitates the moment of death, since the openness of passing through is the very openness of death. I have no doubt about this. The openness of passing through, when you do that, is the openness of death. Ultimately, not a slightest bit of difference whatsoever. So passing through is the openness of our own awareness to the openness of the ground awareness, both within us and through other human beings. Isn't that magnificent? Isn't that totally cool? Don't you love practicing it? The power of passing through cannot be overestimated. The power of passing through is vastly, vastly, and greatly underestimated. It is the most underestimated practice. Passing through humanizes situations and humanizes a person. Passing through unlocks the darkness of psychic collapse, because you'll meet people who are psychically collapsed. Words mean shit. Words at this point don't have much value. As you pass through, words and the symbolization function is reactivated. Raise your hands if you understand what I'm saying. Okay? Now, passing through, and this is really important. I mentioned it a little bit last week. I'm talking again. Passing through is the essence, or is the secret of tantric sexuality. It is the secret to tantric sexuality, which is also not often opened up. I've studied with a lot of would-be tantrics, okay? There is no tantric sexuality without the capacity of passing through. There is no tantric sexuality without the capacity of passing through. The mutually held passing through cannot be attained without some expertise in sublimation. Without the sublimation, the passing through process cannot take place because of densification of the body and the fixation of desire. You guys follow what I'm saying? We've been through the Kundalini drama, okay? Tantric sexuality cannot be attained without sublimation. Much so-called tantric sexuality is simply a routine to get laid, okay? An advanced routine, okay? Don't want to take away from the routine. It's just not what tantric sexuality truly is, which is the embodiment of the body of light being held by two people or more, and the passing through in that thing. But that body of light is ultimately a function of sublimation. Paradoxically, without sublimation and the capacity of sublimation, which is the heart essence opened, then you have the freedom, the actual true freedom, not to be driven, locked into chemistry or object determination, instinct determination, and you do not have any freedom there whatsoever. Choice. But at that point with sublimation, you have you actually can have choice. Raise your hands if you're following what I'm saying. Okay. Now, the reason again why I'm speaking about sexuality in the tantric context is that I'm now hearing lamas talk about, like Lama Garchen. You know Lama Garchen? This picture, a really great lama. Speak about these necessary skills in the human situation. And also Lama Kunzeng Dechen Limpa would speak about this in public. And then also Swami Muktananda at certain times. So tantric sexuality is not the mere activation of the kundalini. Anybody can have the activation of the kundalini. That's no big deal. In India, people get activated the kundalini in order to have better sex. With me? But it's still below the navel. It has not entered the doorway. Okay. So rather, as sublimation is accomplished through the arising of the luminosity, okay, and there's some suffering involved in this, the arising of the luminosity through the heart essence, this door opens. The body of light is formed and passing through is developed. Then a person or persons have the possibility and the potential at that moment to bring forth sexual energy in the context of the body of light and the passing through of oneness. So in the body of light, that actually is through the whole body, right, at this point, then a person has the capacity to bring forth the sexual energy in that context, okay? Of course, you don't have to believe any of this, okay? So in the oneness, the sexual energy can be activated, and the luminous light is intensified in a somatic, fluid manner. If you think of the person who does the somatic fluid work, what's her name? Very famous. Emily Cohen, yes. Her work gets very close to this. You with me? Because it brings the energy, the erotic energy, also into somatic fluidity. So in the body of light, there's also the liquid fluidity of, but you want to bring it more into embodiment, liquid fluidity. And that's why you bring in the sexual element. It actually helps bring the incarnated component more, liquid bodily fluidity. Then you can actually touch into the body, and the body is fluid light. You guys follow this topic a little bit? You don't have to believe it, of course. The body of light is somatized, and the entire column is intensified and expanded. And during this process, certain doors are sealed, such as regressive rebirth. That means coming back as a bird or a dog or whatever that is. And I will go into that later. Again, you don't have to believe any of this, okay? And bliss, emptiness, or bliss, spaciousness, or bliss, love, emptiness, the great affection, is stabilized and brought into more continuous continuity. The somatized, take the word somatize. The somatized body of light brings forth and stabilizes the light completely in the flesh through this drama. Everybody following what I'm saying here? Yeah? Okay. When you speak of sublimation, sublimation is not the foreclosure of sexuality. You can feel sexuality in a sublimated experience. You just don't have an object. There's no object to it. You with me? And you're holding it, okay? But it's not placed any place. You with me? You guys follow what I'm saying here? Then at a certain point, like as a passing through is taking place, an intense passing through is taking place, then the sexual energy can be activated in order to complete the incarnation of divinity. Okay? So the somatation of the light brings forth. It is not necessary to do this, though, but it is one way. As soon as you make it a biblical fact, you're going up the wrong tree. Then you have organizations that do it, and you have, it will go on and on and on, okay? So this is totally natural. You're integrating something into at the level of oneness in the light. You guys follow what I mean? This is very simple, okay? Bliss and emptiness are embodied in body and mind, luminosity is bodied. Given the right circumstance, given the right time, given the right situation, and the right person, the practice is completely wonderful. And as Lama Garchen said, really you should try it, okay? And it is not gender specific. Please, please get beyond patriarchal ways of thinking. It has nothing whatsoever to do with gender specificity, such as male, female. Nothing whatsoever. It is truly the divine embrace in the flesh and establishes a person in the luminous human realm. Everybody following what I'm saying here? Now, and then I will go into this topic probably the next time we meet a little bit more, because there are certain other things, totally simple, not necessary, that can be done. Like at times using a mantra to extend through the lower body up through in a circle like the microcosmic orbit and things like that. But we'll talk about it. But that is completely incidental. That will not bring forth what's being spoken about here. The great protection of passing through process is true love. This is not a schizoid moment, okay? The process of true love, you with me? It is a theophanic experience. It is true love. It is true love, okay? Embodied love. Pure love, kadig. This does not mean that a person without any love whatsoever cannot discipline themselves to pass through in order to dominate and possess the other. This is the talk to naivete. So within the question of passing through in the mysterious conjunctio, which Jung was preoccupied with, in their texts on the medieval, so were the medieval alchemists, this whole issue of love as the body of light. The same thing with the great Sufis. I'll read some of that literature in next week also. So this theophanic experience runs throughout the mystical, but it's never in the orthodox. It's always outside the hierarchy. And when the hierarchy tries to institutionalize it and make it an institutional event, which took place in some of the Tibetan Buddhism things, I'm telling you, it doesn't work out well. We won't have to go into details with that, okay? So, the mysterious conjunctio, through and being passed through, is not really good or it's not really good or useful to be naive, okay? So take off the naive posture, okay? Please, okay? Innocentia is a true thing, but innocentia is not naive, okay? Innocentia is pure love. Innocentia and sapientia, very close. So wisdom gnosis is the opposite of naivete. Wisdom gnosis allows one to see the light in a situation as well as the character of participants. Wisdom gnosis allows one to see the light in a situation as well as the character of the participants. And you only learn this over time, also known as trial and error. Okay? So don't worry about this too much, okay? This is all true, right? So that is why they're both beneficent and fierce deities within our psyche. And you really want to be friends of both, okay? And of course, there's always the laughter of the Dakinis, okay? You guys follow this topic today? So here we are. So I'd like us to pair up if you don't mind, okay? We'll do pass-throughs today, okay? Everybody understand this topic? Raise your hand if this feels crystal clear. Crystal clear. You want to be total clarity with this. You with me? And you want to know why you practice passing through. How many people practice passing through here? Raise your hands. Really practice. I really practice it. How many people practice it once a week? Right. Let's say this. How many people practice it once a week? Raise your hands if you practice it once a week. How many people practice it twice a week? How many people practice it every day? Every day. I practice it every day. If I can do it, why can't you? And I have a hurt leg.
When you speak about passing through, do you mean the actual
Passing through.
passing through?
I mean where...
Not just sitting and energetically.
No. This is not... No, not physical.
I mean,
This is not passing through. Let me see, two people. Would you come up, because you're new. Jan, would you come over there and hold that? You focus behind her. And would you focus behind Jan, okay? So we're just going to hold together. I'm going to pass through Jan. We have practice, okay? This way. Let's pass through each other. We're going to pass through just externally. We can all do it with them. Just this much. This extension is not passing through. This extension is really an extension. Let's go further back. It's leaning into passing through, but it's not quite. Let's go to our very back now. Once your back is opened, which we did this ad nauseum, then you can pass through. So I'm going to try and pass through, if I can, at this moment. Okay, we'll pass through each other. And I know you're new, but we're going to do a little pass through. But you're a Hatha Yoga person, so. Now that is a pass through, but we did not necessarily do the columns at that point, because columns need a little bit more intensity. You guys follow that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. That's why in healing experience sometimes you do the pass through. A person's dying, so you lean over and you don't need a costume and you do the pass through. At death, the pass through is really quite wonderful, because as you're passing through, that is the deathless state in you and in that person that helps the door, that helps sustain that person in their connection to pass through the openness. Does that make sense? So pass through is that. We've practiced pass. Usually we do a few things beforehand because it takes an openness to pass through. You follow this? Any doubt about it? This is not pass. Extension is not passing through. The fruition of extension is passing through. Yes. Yeah. You can do both.
It's more like an opening or a joining.
The action is a passing through, and sometimes you do pass through. We've done here, and what do you hit? You face the archetypical realm. When you pass through in the Mayakaya, you will experience the archetypical dimension. How many people have done that and felt that here? Okay. So I like the word passing through up to a point. I don't know a better word yet. I appreciate what you're saying there, because the action is passing through, except you actually stay. It's a process. And as you pass through, you stop. So I stopped there, and Jan stopped there. You follow me? You stop when you feel the... But it takes a person has to be in a certain... But you can do a pass through without the columns of light actually meeting. Okay? Because to do the columns of light meeting, it takes a little... The columns of light have to be sometimes brought forth for some people. And sometimes the column of light is very thin. Almost non-apparent. When it's apparent, like all these are practiced people, we can do this.
Well, the reason I like to call it the wave is that it feels very oceanic.
It is oceanic.
And it's, and it feels, and there is that, moving through.
Yeah. Yes. The reason I've been using pass through, that's not my favorite word, is I'm also telling the person who I'm working with that this is going to be an experience they're not quite used to. So I'm going to pass through you. And actually it feels like, oh, somebody just passed through me. How was that for you just now? You want to get the microphone?
I can't really describe it. I could see why it's hard to name it.
Let's see if you could just play with it for a minute.
Me?
Yeah, just what word might arise in you from within you. if something arises. It may not.
Yeah, it felt like drawing. Something was drawn out.
Drawn out. Sometimes what happens in the pass-through, there should be a drawing out. There should be a rising of the light. There should be a rising. It actually draws a person forward. You with me? It brings a person forward. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
So we
Like
have.
I felt like I experienced myself.
You feel yourself coming through, and it's very direct, and realize masters have this, but so do ordinary human beings have it. It's just an underestimated phenomena, but it helps bring forth. I'm going to see what Jan's, would you mind describe your experience briefly?
It was interesting when you talked about going from the different placements.
Yeah,
and
here, and we went step by step, then back opens, then you can really do the passing through.
Right. And so just to tune into the qualitative differences of those placements in a certain kind of way. And
What was it like as you tuned into that?
feeling the limitations of certain places of coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
One is more limited.
Right. And then feeling the infinite quality of when you really are passing through. And
It's an infinite quality
mhm.
in a finite body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. Michelle, why don't you pass the microphone? This is a very important topic, and to have some informedness about it is really useful in our life, because everybody's teachers here.
So is it like the first step, this is the way I'm kind of thinking of it, or how I've always thought of it, maybe, kind of, is that the first step is co-emergence, and then it's like more dimensional?
It is more dimensional co-emergence.
Like you go in and then you go in further.
Yes, you go in further, infinitely further, and it's a co-emergent experience. And so always making discriminatory judgments of how far to go with this. You with me? And you want it to be an assimilated experience. And I know you've had quite an experience this weekend. And I also know you're a hatha yoga person, and you have a lot of energy. So the co-emergence at this part was different than the co-emergence with this part, but it really was a bringing forth of the self. I like how you described it experientially, because that is the best way, not to impose our mind on it, but to see what's experientially near. Then your words start having light to them, okay? And then how you describe it was much further, because we've practiced it a lot. You guys follow? So the co-emergent experience is this big for some people. And if you're tuned, your own co-emergence will be that big. You won't be getting too big for the situation. You with me? Unless you're very grandiose. And then you run over situations. You with me? It's also known being an asshole. That is what an asshole is, okay? That is an asshole. No question about it. And then, as you have a person who has more expertise, then co-emergence is this big, and this big, and this big. So I felt co-emergence with her. That was a co-emergence. It's not big dog with the little dog. That is a co-emergence experience of equality consciousness. This is a co-emergence experience of equality consciousness. You with me? And then when you're with a great master, to the degree that you have some recognition of the guru in your own body as your own self, to that degree, you will see that in that master. And then not, it may be the beginning of you seeing it, but you have to suffer through a sea of transference. Okay? Sometimes drowning in that very sea. Sometimes drowning in the very sea. So the more degree you have the recognition of the guru in yourself, that wonderful prayer, then to that degree, you can feel that intense devotion without any disempowerment whatsoever in yourself. Okay, everybody okay? And someone like Amachi plays it out so elegantly, So this is a really important topic. Everybody feel free about this? Everybody should really feel free, and that you really have an understanding. This is the secret of Tantra. This is the secret of Tantra. You with me? A lot of things you can have all kind of sexual formats that have total value in and of themselves. They can be hot and erotic. You with me? And you can think they're tantra. Who cares? But the actual secret of tantra is the luminous body of light, and the entire panoply of sexuality is transformed into that moment, and different things happen in the light. So sometimes a person who has this capacity may want to have plain American sex. You with me? And then other times practice the body of light, because actually it's not the same phenomena. Everybody okay with this? Raise your hands if this really makes some sense to you, because this is really liberating. This has no gender specificness. It is nothing on that order whatsoever. And so some of the tantric literature you read, especially some of the Tibetan tantric literature, you with me, is distorted on this topic. It is just distorted. And the great lamas will tell you this, okay? And also, as Lama Kunchen Dekchen Limpa said, I actually have it on, I show this video sometime, not because of the sexual import, but because it's on the Ninti Gyabishi. And the Ninti Gyabishi is really one of the great texts in Dzogchen and covers stuff. And he's talked about this, and he says, whether people say they do it or not, they do it, okay, as the body of light, because it does have something to offer us, you with me? But you have to know and have accomplished the body of light to actually, to have the results, which is more luminous of the body. It helps have the body become more luminous. And so sometimes when you really touch a luminous body, you can feel your fingers going into that body. And when you're in the body, we all felt that here. When we're in the body of light, we can feel that we've felt that take place. Have we felt that here? Everybody okay with this? I know I'm going fast. I really want to have a practice with each other. But this is important to get clear. And this is a highly opinionated talk I'm giving. Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of times the Tibetan tantric stuff is very disguised.
Right.
And in order to keep what they offer secret.
I mean, my sense is that this is so huge. It is what we are as human beings, in a sense, here for, is to bring, another way to language it is always this bringing spirit into matter, to manifest the divine through our physical form.
Yes, totally correct. Totally. This is the embrace of the divine light. That's what I'm calling this little talk. Embracing the divine in humanness. Huh? So this is not an incidental talk. You with me? It's not incidental. And we can practice it, okay? But it has to be the right time, right circumstance, right situation. This is not the right time. This is not the right circumstance and the right situation. It just isn't. So knowing that, as Namkhe Norbu used to say, he talked a lot about this also. And he would say, the integration of sexuality is a nice criteria whether you're actually in awareness or not. Because as you integrate, you find yourself out of awareness, out of the light, And he says, so the capacity to integrate sexuality into the luminous embodied light. And if you can you can integrate the sexuality there, then you really are in the body of light and you've accomplished the Kundalini arising thing. Okay. Muktananda Baba, in his own way, he was a little bit more challenging. And he would say, unless, and he would give these talks very informal and off the cuff. He would say, unless, because he was a tantric master, and I'll bring an article on him and sexuality. It's a very great article by one of the students of the famous University of Chicago, Wendy. Who's Wendy's last name? She's a Shiva expert. Wendy. Anyway, I'll bring that in. But he would say, unless you reach that, you're just an animal. Okay, I'm being away. So he had his own way of talking about things. I wouldn't say that at all. Okay, I disagree with him on that. okay? I disagree totally with him on that. You guys follow what I'm saying? I think he was overstating it for his own dramatic purposes. I hope he was. You guys follow this topic here? So it's a great topic. So passing through is really, really great. And it's passing, as you're teaching yoga, none of this is just with psychotherapists. You guys are teaching yoga and you're walking around straightening people. Direct, 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 and direct. So let's pair up right now, okay? And I'm really glad you're here. And you bring a lot of energy and light with you. Everybody's following this, so we're going to pair up. Okay. And, okay. So let's do this, okay? Hope this didn't sound too preachy today, okay? Everybody doing okay? So let's just take our hands, and everybody has a little handbook, and just open the field up. Open the field up. Opening the field up. As you're opening the field up with that person, let yourself at the same time extend in the Sambhogakaya dimension through the Namanikaya of a great teacher you've met. So if you met Amachi or you have another teacher, a guru, not just a mere teacher, okay? You should really know the difference, okay? You then extend to that teacher, Namanikaya dimension. Or, if you haven't met such a person, extend to the Sambhogakaya dimension. Extend to the Dakini, the goddess. All right. Now, place your hands under the person's arms, if you don't mind, and touch those 2 points that are called the Dzogchen points. Yeah, right there. And you can press those points right there. They're right about here.
Should we do it together?
You can both do it together. Y'all can do this together. Mm-hmm. And it's a little bit more right here. It's a little closer to this part. It's right at the armpit, right here, right above that little point right there. Is that the heart meridian there? Thank you. Thank you so much. That's great. You know, I think every one of these methods we've developed can be in fact, would you do that for us sometimes? Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay, great. But every one of these things will have a corresponding meridian. I bet you $10, okay? Now, if you don't mind placing your hands under her or his chest at the heart again, and you're going to place your hands there, but your hands are more against the arm itself, and just like pull the energy a little bit or extend the energy. Okay, and you do it very lightly. We've done this many, many times, okay? You want to open that more. We're opening up the heart chakra, the heart essence, okay? Now we're going to place our hands at the person's navel just for a minute. You can see I'm placing it. And you're going to extend the energy down, because we're really invoking the column again. Down the perineum. You can also do it right, left, and front. Then you connect to that. The bulb inside, you connect that, and you pull that energy up. We're going it up into the heart essence. There also are 2 points. There's a point beneath the breast, and then on either side of the breast, there are 2 points there. The Sufis use the one under the right breast to see if it opens. It's a little point. You don't touch the breast. It's right beneath the breast. And Baba Frijan, who also has 7 other names since then, uses the other point. You know what I'm talking about, right? Baba Frijan? Okay. He's a very great yogi. He's a little bit wild. Okay. He used to challenge Baba because he said Baba was only Sambhogakaya realized. Then Chakapani had to write him a letter. Tell him go do himself. So now let's extend your heart to each other, your heart essence. We can do that. And then see if you can extend the heart drop to that person. We're going fast this morning. Through your heart, just through your heart. Everybody doing okay? Now, let's extend now from the front of our chest. Let's extend into him or her, just for the front, using our own chest. We're going to use our chest because we're practicing to get to the pass-through. So you extend. If you want, you can put your hands on the side of your breast, like so. And that'll be the first part. You extend. A lot of times when we're on the internet, this is how I extend in the morning. Then you go a little deeper back, okay? You go back further, where you can feel like an energy stream. You can feel you're going to another. There's just another point that you can find it. You can feel it, and you extend from there. It actually feels more whole, more complete. Has more delicious flavor to it. Whole body you're extending now. And sometimes you can extend just the upper part of the body just because of comfort's sake for people. Today we're doing the whole body. Then you're going to move your hands all the way behind you a little bit, and you're extending from your back to each other's back. So as you do this, at the beginning you study from one chest, extend from one chest, then one middle to the next middle. Now you're extending from the back to the back. Say yes if you feel your back opening. Let's stay with that. I'd like the people who their back is towards the wall, wherever that is, to go up on their knees a little bit and place your hand under the person's head, their ears, and just say to them, I'm going to pass through you right now. And then pass through her or him. Let yourself pass through, your whole body pass through. And if you can stop when you feel their channels, because this is a sophisticated group, then stop. Your channel should stop. Your column should stop at their column. And you hold that. And this is in a completely sublimated state, okay? Then you allow yourself to sit back a little bit and extend them up a little bit more, and then you feel the light of your heart going through their whole body as you extend them up. The light, and then you can, as you go down towards the heart, you can pass through again. Through the heart area itself. Go down and pass through the heart itself. It's almost the spot between your breasts. That door opens and you extend right through that spot in them. It should be really beneficent. And then you sustain it. Then I'd like you again to to go for the heart drops. You can place one of your hands under that doorway, and you're going to release the heart drops into her. And this should be done with incredible amount of love. As a bodhisattva. And you release that energy, that drop into her or him. It's a liquid-like feeling. And then, having done this, we're going to pause in a minute, and you allow yourself to take very seriously what you've been taught, okay? You want to take the capacity of all this pass-through, and that you don't have to be in trance state. You can be in states of bliss in your life. You with me? And the only thing that's lacking is practice. If you're lacking any place, you're lacking in practice. You know? And then you can cumulatively practice. You've met great gurus. You with me? Rinzin Dorje was here. Lama Norla was here. You with me? Kunzin Dechen Lipa was here. You've met other gurus. Some met Amachis. Some you met Muktananda. You met other gurus, huh? Great, great yogis. People who embody it completely. And then it still sits completely in your own hands. You with me? This whole thing sits in your own hands. Isn't that fantastic? It still sits in your own hands. It sits completely in your own hands. And that really, truly, you understand that no one else can do this for you. I'm not trying to be mean or ugly, but that undertaking, that glimpsing is really important. So on one hand, you hold your own authorship, and on the other hand, you hold death. You with me? You hold death, and you hold your own authorship. Okay. Now, the other person is staying in their great state and still feeling the unfolding of the light in their body. You'll feel that liquid unfolding. You now are going to come up on your knees, and you're going to place your hand under her head or his head, and under the ears, which is a very powerful point. Okay, and you're going to just say, "I'm going to bring you into my heart center," and let yourself pass through me again. So you let them pass through you again, and you're going to allow your heart center to really open to them, and you're like pulling them into that channel. You're pulling them into that column a little bit, okay? Through the inner heart essence. And be brave. Then push them a little further back. I'm going to push you back a little bit. And then say, I'm going to extend through you completely. And so again, let yourself go a little further down, kneel down a little bit, and extend your whole body through him or her. And you want to feel the column of light, if you can, in your own body. You've been activated a lot. And so you extend your whole body and the column. Sometimes you may just extend the column if you really got skill. But you want to extend the whole body and the column to touch into her column. And you can lean physically close. Literally feel the motion of passing through. The motion helps. And this is in the text. You feel the movement. So move your body to them. And at a certain point, you stop moving your body and the field keeps moving. You stop moving the body and the field keeps moving. Move your body to him or her. And you feel the field stop. It's an amazing, the field moves and you stopped. Can you guys feel that? Okay, then you hold it in oneness. And it's good to know in the right time, in the right place, in the right circumstance, if you wished, okay? This could be sexualized at this moment. You just want to know this, okay? And this is not neither the right time, right situation, you with me? Right circumstance. The essence of Dzogchen is being right on in the situation. And when you miss the right on in the situation, you'll know it. So at this point, you know you have choice. You with me? And you can feel the implications of such choice. This choice only arises because you have sublimatory capacity. True choice only arises because you have sublimatory capacity. When a person is tantric and they don't have choice, they say they're tantric and they don't have choice and they don't have sublimation, that is not a true tantric person you're talking to. Okay? It's a comical moment. Dakini's laugh. You with me? So then, at this point, you can pull yourself back. You can still feel the connection of oneness. And the co-emergent experience between you and human beings. That is really great. And you can feel your own mastery of sublimation, okay? And your mastery of the light, okay? The arising light. And then, you can, for yourself, if you wish, you can embrace the practice of passing through. Okay, whatever that means for you. Are you with me? You don't have to necessarily be near a person to pass through them. Are you with me? All these extensions, you know. Every Friday morning, that extension is a passing through. You want to know just what you can do with the fruition of extension, which is passing through. It's also called using what you've got. Okay? Using what you've got. as everybody attains passing through with some degree of skill and predictable, then this seminar can go forward in September. Then we can go forward. Then we can go forward. But so you want to gain that expertise in passing through. You with me? And especially passing through with people who are difficulties. You can pass through on the phone so easily. Hello, so-and-so. How are you doing? Then that person begins to tell you their redundant problems, okay? I'm serious. Surely you've had this experience. Then, they're not as fortunate as you. Then you extend your light through and you start practicing how to access the words. And just, what's your name, please? The lady, just what Jasmine did was really great. She had nothing to say, right? Her mind, she couldn't access one. Then she focused into her experience. And then experientially near, the words arose, right? And that is how we gain luminous speech, okay? We all have that capacity. So we're all going to gain expertise in extension, and the fruition of extension is passing through, okay? And if any of you did that with Amachi, any form of extension, there's no question about it. On the receptive side, everything can happen. But also, for the heck of it, if you went into that embrace and you extended through and you practice extending, something happened. So did you do that, the lady in red? Did you pay? What happened? You have a microphone here? But you want to stay in our state. I'm just curious. You got a little microphone here? Yeah. Just would you say, just briefly, what happened as you extended through her?
Prior to even getting to her, I just was getting a lot of energy from her.
Mm-hmm.
And as I extended through her, the column of light became so big. You know, I wasn't sure whether I could hold it, but I was still holding it and just trying to stay present in my body and let it rip. That makes sense.
Yes, let it rip.
Let it rip. And, you know, then they're like, can you stand up? Uh-huh. You can. And then just sitting down and staying with it. It was wave after wave after wave. It went on for quite a while. And I just kept getting so much light.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
Cool. Anybody else see her and did the extension, or if you don't mind? Yes.
Yeah. At first, you know, I always forget when I get up there because it's so chaotic.
It's so chaotic, right?
And then as soon as you go in, you know, you're just in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've experienced both just like the receptivity and then extending to her. And this time I really extended to her like halfway through. I remembered to like really do it. To make it happen.
Uh-huh.
And it made such a difference. It was like, it was that co-emergence. It was like beyond passing through. And
yes.
And kind of like what Mimi said afterwards, because I had like taken my own authority during, you know, with the darshan, it was just intense. It was really hard to integrate afterwards because it was the most intense hug I'd ever had.
Yes. Power. You integrated power. Also known as Shakti. Anybody else do that? Have that experience? Anybody else? Okay, we'll pass it to Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
I felt a tremendous grounding during the hug, and it continued after. It was just energy for me usually flows up and stays up.
Stays up.
And I can't get it to go down.
You got to get it to go down, right?
And with Amma, during the hug, and the energy just went into the ground and flowed out.
Fantastic.
And stayed there.
It's fantastic.
And I went and sat on the floor.
Yep.
And it was at least 2 hours. I just sat there, hardly blinking. And I was alert. I was focused, but I really didn't have a thought going. I was just noticing things, but the energy was down.
Down into that earth.
Yeah.
Totally cool. Totally cool. Great, thanks. We'll pass it to somebody else. Yes, please.
I had two interesting moments. One when you said hold your own authority and death at the same time. There was this sense of freedom, of just everything was just so easy. And it was the same thing. There's opening up.
Cool.
And the other was at the point of choice. I just absolutely love that. Where I was with connected. I forgot your name. I'm like Rudy. Lynn. That works that way. And it was just so delightful in the sense of the choice. And it didn't matter whether I made the choice or not, or what choice I made. It was just so freeing and just so wonderful and enjoyable and right on.
Great. Thank you so much.
To go back to passing through Amma, I had I think it's the first time I really allowed myself to have that experience with her. And what it did was really stabilize the blissful infinity, and it just felt like it almost brought it into place in a very lasting and powerful way. And also, I felt that devotion that you were talking about earlier, that oneness and that the devotion arising where more than ever before, I felt that for her without losing anything myself. You know, it was like being in a place where being devoted is not any kind of loss of power.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important in this life because love and masochism are very connected in this world existentially for everyone. And suffering for the sake of love in ways that one doesn't have to suffer in terms of giving up the power. So to be able to feel that great devotion and demythologizing the masochistic component of it is liberation and absolutely necessary in this culture, in this time. In other cultures, in other times, maybe not. You know, maybe in the Piscean age with its asymmetricalness, that it was A-okay and served some purpose in the long run. Perhaps, or maybe not. Maybe that's just a hopeful wish. But nonetheless, in this age of Saturn, it doesn't really work. You with me? Thank you guys so much. So let's go back again. We're going to hold awareness again. I'm going to put the chant on, and then you guys are just going to hold awareness with intensity, okay? But I'm going to ask you, do not go into a trance state if you can, but work with the intensity of what's there. Everybody's okay with this? This okay with it? We're not going to meet next week, okay? Won't be here. We'll meet the following week, okay? And I think we'll start having little meditations on Thursday evenings, I think at 7 o'clock right now. We're not going to have the advanced seminar. We'll have the advanced seminar here. Then, if enough people want to, I may go through August or I may not, depending on what everybody wants to do, okay? So I'm going to now turn a chant on. Or let's do, rather than doing this, let's create a geometry for everybody. Would that be okay? Let's create a geometry. We'll do a geometry instead. Okay? Let's create a geometry. We'll create a geometry, okay? Okay, so we can just all sit with a geometry, and someone to sit next to me here. You're going to sit next to me facing this way, and then, yes, and then someone will sit next to you there, and we'll put two people over there. Just like there's two of us here, and two of you guys will be there. And then we'll create a geometry, okay? Okay. Maybe two people here also, okay? Two. We're doing twos rather than ones this time. So one more person will sit next to Lorette, and then you're gonna turn this way into the angles. So you'll be an angle person, and then you'll be an angle person, and you'll be an angle person also. Okay. No, we need another one here. One more two. Okay, great. Maybe you come over a little bit more, hon, and then someone can sit there, and we have an angle person there. Okay. So let's have, okay, somebody can come in the middle. And would you mind just flipping on that CD, because I have to limp over there and humiliate. Yeah.
Which number?
Just number 9. That's Shiva Hari Om. Okay. Then we flip it on. Here we go. Okay. Come on, here we go. Deep absorption. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. There's one person here. And I know your friend. Here we go. We'll put number 9 on. And we turn a little bit loud. Except it's I'm sorry, hon. It's on red. Maybe you CD down and the room up. Technical problem. Great. So let's all focus. We get another person in the middle. Dan, why don't you come in the middle since your friend died? And we'll focus on him. Your friend died and your dog died, companions. And then Michelle, you can come sit over here, hon. So when we hold awareness, we actually hold it for the person or the animal that's dying, okay? Because that process is still going on. So let's hold the people in the middle, and we're going to pass through them now. We all got passed through down. And we're going to pass through them, since passing through is like death. There was an eclipse, yeah. There was an eclipse on Saturn and beginning of the eclipse. And we're extending, what's your friend's name, hon? Molly, that. We're extending both of them. And at this level, there's no difference between an animal and a person. Sometimes you'll fit the Namanakaya up, and then suddenly it becomes the Bogakaya. Would you mind coming behind Dan and putting your heart behind it? Now would you mind doing something for us? Place your heart center behind you. And then you're going to touch the person with your chest. Now would you mind touching the arm? Focus. Lower back. Eating those bends. Evoke the archetypal dimension here. stay there, Dan. Can you focus on Carol, whose dad is dying right now? Whose cousin died. Let's focus there. In this night, we're going to focus on the Rigpa as the guru, our own Rigpa. Shakti is a manifestation of the different Asas, or Sambhogakaya and Manakaya. In silence for a few moments. And it's always great when a great master, great sitter is even in physical closeness, time and space. Timeless awareness manifesting in time. We can feel the fire, the light in our bodies. So if anybody wants to share anything, just maybe we'll just do a quick sharing, if that's okay with anyone. We'll just pass that little microphone around. And the main reason we share is because when we share, the experience we have actually becomes a vehicle of transmission and understanding to everybody. We got a little microphone someplace? There we are. Great. Thank you. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing just a little bit what's happening or where you're at, or just briefly however you want to do it, but you feel you're talking experientially near.
What I wanted to share was the powerfulness of the experience as one being and as a part of the whole group as a larger being. I saw pictures yesterday of the sequoias and was reminded of how they grow out every year. And so the image that came to mind was how we're all separate pieces of the same huge energetic field that would be the symbol of the whole tree, and yet every piece is a living, vibrating, necessary, essential.
So true. I really appreciate you saying that. That's cool.
I just wanted to say that what I'm experiencing, what I experienced being in the middle, was how grateful Wally is for the support that he's getting right now. That he, when I was with him a couple of weeks ago, I asked him whether he wanted me to stay with him in the hospital in the morning or come here. He said, he said, go to your group and hold me there. I feel that would be best. And so I'm feeling, through all of you and through me, just the gratitude and the sweetness and the support that he's receiving. And
as we feel him through you today.
Absolutely. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan, so much, hon.
I also felt, when you were talking about like moving into the earth, just a profound, deep connection with the earth in that sea of blue light, just deep, deep, deep. That then allowed the movement upward, that just soared upward. With a lot of strength and power, and then feeling, the totality of this group, and then extending that through the pass through to my father and my stepmother, and to see them and the heart drop, just that immense love flowing to them, and then they kind of dissolved, which feels like that's the process. So
beautifully described. Thank you. Your body feels really strong.
I felt so gifted by the beings when I was outside of the circle and we were focusing on Rex and Wally. I felt like what Lorette spoke about, that the huge, the column of light just became this huge vortex of energy, and the energy was very full, but it felt very soft and very easy to be with that. It felt very freeing, and it was like, and that process of I felt very connected to the earth through the base of my spine, and then the rest of me just felt like it was co-emerging with that spaciousness, and I felt very with the beings. And then when I came in the middle, that process just became more and more evident, and just I was able to just totally become free and feel the peace and the love and the ease of and I felt like that was the space where these beings were, is in that peace and love and ease, and that in extending to them and ascending, I was getting an opportunity to experience that as well.
Thank you so much.
As I was sitting here and allowing the openness to open up more and more, and was thinking about whether I wanted to say out loud that I'm going to visit my father on Friday for the weekend. And then just really feeling, I feel so ambivalent about him, and I realized the more that the more I was feeling ambivalent and thinking, well, I wish that he was dying, but that I really don't have anything to do with that. And as I let go of that, I just felt that I was able to go back into the field and really be okay with just whatever is with that, which was very freeing.
Thank you. Thanks. And next, I think Marla wants to.
Well, today was just so cosmic and yet so grounding at the same time. And I really have this experience of being able to, somebody said that holding the infinite in the finiteness of our bodies, like that's really the experience. And when you suggested that we ascend, what came to me was, we all have a wireless connection. We just have to, remember we do,
That's really true, though, isn't it?
It's so true. It's always
really
there.
Always
it is
there.
always there.
Tuning into that. That is really, that's it. You've just said it.
Yeah.
That is the fantastic truth.
Well, Thank you.
And feel the inner life. Thank you. We're going to have to go faster because I might have to go in about 2 minutes.
I was able to feel the finiteness of the vortex going up in a much more solidified way. Sometimes I do that Shakti thing, but this was much. I was able to hold it better. I don't know if it was the whole group experience. And then when I put my heart up to the back of Lynn, when you talked about creating that, I felt a little bit like Evel Knievel, going through Lynn, going through him, and it was like I was hopping, and then there's Lorette, and Lorette's like, it was really, cool? It was fun. It was very fun.
Gets stronger.
It was like, woo, and then it's coming back to me, and I'm like, woo, can I hold this? So it was. That's okay.
Very cool.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you.
And then there's all the other giveness that was going on too. It was fun.
For me, near the end, I had this very wonderful experience when we were expanding up and feeling very grounded. And then I just felt like this really embodied sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, and oneness. But it was so rich and embodied and so high. It was just very wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Today I felt I was grounding myself more and more in the infinite rather than the finite.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said, Steve. Thanks. Glad to have you back, and glad your back is better.
It was a morning of light, and I just thank everyone for sharing their experience here and sharing the lives. It's just an incredible morning of light.
Thank you so much. Glad to have you here. Anybody else? You can if you want to. Okay. See, I gotta go. See you guys later. You can continue sharing, but I have to run. Haircut day.